What's happening, church family? It is Monday morning, March the 3rd. This is the What I Wish I'd Said podcast episode for the message I preached yesterday in Romans chapter 12, verses 1 and 2. So I've been thinking a lot about sacrifice, clearly, because that was the point of the message. I want to remind you again what Paul said. He said, "Therefore, I urge you, brothers and sisters, in view of God's mercy, to offer your bodies as a living sacrifice." And that word offer, right? So he's saying, hey, like, make an intentional, willing, not manipulated, not coerced, make a decision to offer yourself. And it made me think of Jesus, right? Because when I think of sacrifice, who gave the greatest sacrifice? Clearly it was Jesus. And it says in Hebrews chapter 12, this is how it describes the sacrifice that Jesus made. For the joy that lay before him, he endured the cross, despising the shame, and sat down at the right hand of the throne of God. Like, what is the joy that Jesus saw, that he considered, that was set before him? I think it was one, relationship. That might be the biggest thing, relationship with us and also with the Father. He knew that when he laid his life down and was resurrected, he knew that he was going to sit down again at the right hand of his Father. And he also could look through time. He also could look past the cross and see, man, when I go through with this, when I lay my life down as a sacrifice, there's going to be a reunion, a relationship. I would call, he's going to restore us back to the way things were in the Garden of Eden before we sinned. He knew that we'd be close again. And so the joy that fuels sacrifice is relationship. And sacrifice allows us to give ourselves willingly to those that we love the most. This is so important because as we go through the rest of the book of Romans, all of these chapters are going to deal with relationships. That's why I told you yesterday, it's going to hit home because I don't know how you are. I don't always function perfectly in the relationships that I have. It's a lot of apologizing, a lot of making things right when I've done something wrong. Maybe you say something that you didn't mean to, you regret it, or you said something that you did mean, but it came out in a way that you didn't want it to. All of this happens in a relationship. And what I want you to remember today is that the easiest thing to do when there's a problem in a relationship is abandon it. The hardest thing to do is to stay in that place where we lay ourselves down, where we honor the other person above ourselves, and where we work it out. And that is what fuels the sacrifice. When we lay ourselves down, offer our bodies, our way, our passions, offer that as a sacrifice to the Lord, then we're in a position where we're ready to strengthen the relationships that otherwise might have fallen apart. I hope that helps you. Man, it helps me too, because I don't want you to feel like, I have to give myself as a sacrifice, right? But Jesus was like, for the joy set before him, he sacrificed himself on the cross. And so for the joy set before you and before me, would we be willing to lay our lives down? I pray that we would. And I hope that you smile as you think about it, because it's not always easy, right? I used some real life examples yesterday, and they affect a lot of us. It's not always easy to give up things in order to fulfill the call of God in our lives. But there's always joy when we remember why we're doing it. And so I pray that you would do that today. Remember the mercy of God and remember the value of the relationships in your life that you're laying your life down for. Have a great day. We'll see you Wednesday night at prayer.